Hello guys, welcome to Amazon TV. I hope you're okay. So guys, please pay attention. Listen very carefully to this lady. This lady is not a South African, but she is in South Africa. She is in this meeting of South African Human Rights Commission representing her organization. She will mention the name of her organization here. Let's hear what she has to say.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. My name is Mandy Jovel. I'm representing an organization that works with LGBTQI plus community in South Africa.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the organization.
The organization is called the Fruit Basket.
Food basket.
The fruits. The Fruit Basket,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, Dr. Naledi, you touched quite an interesting point in terms of how a documented foreign national, how productive it can be when one is documented and in developing, in contributing to the development of the economic of South Africa. I just wanted to find out, is South Africa looking forward to policy reform? A policy reform, I mean a policy that then allows foreign nationals to be documented very flexible, because we know that once someone is documented, we already know that this person might go into things like paying tax and stuff, and then it contributes highly into the economy of South Africa. Because this is what's happening in European countries like Canada and USA. You see that migrants and refugees are also being resettled in those countries, but they're not just going to be there sitting and waiting for documentation. They are documented from the time they leave. For example, when someone is being resettled from South Africa, by the time you reach the airport, you already have some sort of documents.
Did you hear that? This lady is telling us about what is happening in Europe. Is telling us about what is happening in other countries. So, according to her, South Africa must document foreigners because in Canada, in other European countries, they are doing it. Okay, let's continue, guys.
You're already an asset to them. And I'm not sure if there's something that I read, if there's a document that I read, where South Africa is saying, okay, we're going to invest in policy reforms, or we're going to invest more resources so that each and everyone who is in the country is documented. Because sometimes we look at immigration as a crisis, but again, the government entities that are responsible for immigration plays a very big role in terms of, how people enter in the country, and then how are they treated, So I wanted to have an understanding if these policies have been discussed in the background as a possibility to, to some sort of resolve the issue of immigration, moving people from just being an immigrant, but also to being a contributor to the economy of South Africa. Thank you.
How can a country like, sometimes, so their prayer is for South Africa to document all of them instead of pleading with the government of South Africa to speak with these big organizations like UN for them to fix their countries. They want South Africa to document all of them. She is even saying all foreigners to be documented because in Canada, in Europe, they are documenting foreigners there. How can a country like South Africa, that is having the highest unemployment, is having poverty, is having all these challenges that the country is facing, document everyone in South Africa? Do we even have enough resources? Do we have schools, hospitals, electricity, water to carry the whole world or the whole continent? Let's hear how Mam Naledi responded.
Thank you. Well, firstly, I don't speak on behalf of government. All right? So the things you want to ask government, you need to approach Parliament and make submissions. When there's a white paper, there's usually an opportunity for submissions to be made by organizations and members of the public. And you need to do that. Well, the suggestions that I referred to spoke to the use of the skills of migrants and having a clearly articulated framework on how skills would be imported, how skills would be assessed. It's actually terrible to hear that we have mathematics graduates who are car guards in South Africa because they cannot be registered. This can't be, and we need to seek out such skills and see whether they can be developed to contribute to the socioeconomic aspirations of South Africa. But it's not the case in every migrant who comes to our country. And I think sometimes we mistake illegal for everything. And that's the error. And that's why I was saying you need to have a clear distinctiveness in articulating the policy. And it must, in its content, recognize that there are various elements to it. And you can't just deal with a whole that is not a reality. So one of the attempts has been to frame the scarce skills policy. Hasn't worked brilliantly, but it has made an attempt. And we do have a lot of people who are working in key positions and key sectors in South Africa who are not South African. But I think that there can be improvements.
Seriously, I don't understand our fellow Africans. How can they even dream about being documented in South Africa? All of them. How many millions of them here in South Africa? But I don't blame them. I blame our government for allowing all these things to happen. I blame people like Malema. Because in this, let me not say in this world, in Africa, I've never heard even one country in Africa that is attempting or willing to document other Africans, let alone the whole world. So these people, they see that South Africa is struggling. South Africans are suffering. South Africans are living in shacks, and they are insulting us about all those things. That we are not working. They're taking everything away from us. We don't have houses. We live in shacks. The country that does not have electricity. I don't know where this lady is from, where in Africa, but I remember there was a Kenyan group of guys who were mocking South Africa during the load shedding. Let me not say during the load shedding, because some other areas, they are still experiencing load shedding, of course. So those Kenyan guys made a video to say South Africans are busy saying, hey, we don't want foreigners in our country, a country that does not have even resources. They don't have electricity. They are using candles and all those things. So they know very well that South Africans are struggling. They don't have anything. They don't have jobs. They don't have houses. They are living in shacks. But they want to be documented in South Africa. And the same people are calling us their fellow brothers and sisters. How can you allow your brother, your sister to go to sleep hungry? How can you allow your brother's child or your sister's child to be kidnapped? If we are truly brothers and sisters, why are they doing all these things they are doing to us? Why are they taking all opportunities away from South Africans if we are truly brothers and sisters? How can a small country like South Africa be able to carry the whole continent? Seriously, if you think about what is happening in South Africa, you get confused. But as I said, I don't blame these people. I blame the ANC for causing all this problem for us. There's no peace for South Africans. After the apartheid, they started calling these people to come to this country to take all opportunities away from South Africans. Mandela started this by opening the gates of all Africans to come to South Africa. What were they expecting if they're opening the gates for everyone to come? They wanted South Africans to suffer, of course, because they knew there would be no employment for all of us. There would be no schools for all of us. They are not even developing the country. They are not building new schools, new hospitals for everyone that they are inviting to come to this country. They are not creating new jobs for all of us, at least to work. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and share the video. Thank you so much. Bye.